You're here on the Punchline with Kelly Kovic and James Dominguez, and today we will be touching up on what? Justin. today we're going to be touching up on the fights, the Lomachenko-Rigondeaux fight. We're going to talk about their styles. Lomachenko, the new age fighters, I guess, mainly what I should say, Eastern European fighters.
Don't fight that way.
Yeah, they're still half and half, but how Lomachenko's style of this new style and Rigondeaux's, which both their styles were actually pretty much the same before the fight, so it's going to be hard. But that's why I think mainly we're going to stray away from that, because this fight really didn't have much to do with that. But we are going to tap on it, what we've seen, some of the things that we called, especially like how Lomachenko didn't let him set up. James is going to get in and try to kick his brother's ass right now. There's been a little bit of heated sibling rivalry going on here. And what I mean by that is a little bit of shit talking going on, so you guys might get an enjoyment out of that.
My brother served a little time, so he thinks in jail that street fighters are more productive than boxers. So we're going to find out. And he's never boxed before in a day in his life.
And unfortunately, James can't knock his shoes off because they're already off. So he's coming in. So we ain't going to be able to see that.
But we are going to go on a little bit on the Russian, Cuban amateur style, because we've had some questions about the defense and the way they hold their hands and things like that. Because some people, it's hard for some people to figure out. So me and Kelly want to break that down for a few minutes with them.
And answer questions. So enjoy. What are we starting off with first? So the beatdown?
The beatdown.
Okay. Go on in.
Kelly, I think Kelly's refereeing, right?
Yeah, nobody run into me or you get the elbow. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Pay attention where I'm at all times. Alright, yeah. I will drop the atomic elbow. Alright. When are we going? You got any time going on your phone?
Yeah.
Producer's going to be the timekeeper.
I don't have the timekeeping app.
Alright, just screw it.
Just do 1 minute round.
I got a new phone.
You know what? The
anticipation,
the anticipation of this is even better. When that red strikes green, showtime.
That little stick behind me.
Justin.
I think he's going to have to go to jail.
Pretty good.
Street fighter can beat a boxer, remember?
Take the bags down and everything.
You didn't get a mouthpiece or anything?
You don't need it.
You don't need enough piece.
5 seconds.
Yeah. He said he don't need a mouthpiece?
Nope.
I would find that sort of thing.
Remember, you gotta be here a little bit, alright?
Bro, if I was you, I'd find a mouthpiece.
Almost time.
The anticipation.
Almost time.
There you go.
He don't even got shoes on. Oh, this is all bad.
Yeah, I can't knock your shoes off.
Oh, this is all bad. He ain't even got shoes on.
Oh, he went southpaw. He went southpaw though. He might got some tricks. Hey, cut the ring off. Don't bitch about it. Don't turn your back.
He must owe you.
They're both slow like molasses, but oh, the right hand. He's hurt. He's buckled. Oh, go for the kidneys. Oh, break. All right.
Bro, put in a mouthpiece.
There we go. Hey, we ain't worried about our teeth here.
Nah, they good.
Go.
They're falling out anyways.
Yeah, he's got personal hygiene. Don't fall for it. Oh, he lands a jab. He did land a punch.
Keep those hands up.
Come on, Michael. Oh, the switcheroo. The switcheroo and the haymaker. Oh, we got some missing. Oh, James backs him up. Get out the corner. Get. I'm going to let you stand there and get your kidneys beaten. Oh, he does a 360. Oh, another 360. Right. Come on.
You better than that.
Right. What do you mean better than he thought? You got to learn how to punch. Go.
I ain't never punched before.
Oh, that's it. That's a right hand. Oh, another one. I hope you get caught like that in prison. They've been calling taking your booty all day. What is this? What do we got here? Yo, go to his body, Mike. Go to the body. No. Oh, on the feet. On the feet. I see the backhand in there.
Enough.
Huh?
Enough.
Oh!
I'm good.
3. You got tell the red goes. You're good. Point.
I'm to the boss.
Oh man. Good stuff. That was entertaining.
That's alright.
Only her. On the punchline do you get to see that. Oh man. Okay.
3 years.
So, we're going to have to wait now and think of something to talk about until James catches his breath. How did it feel?
Good, good.
Good?
3 years.
Okay.
It wasn't going nowhere, was it?
How do you feel, Mike, after that?
Yeah, I feel a lot better.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
feel
got
good.
some blood coming from the gums.
Is it?
Yep. Yo, we're introduced.
Ask me if it's different in prison.
That's cool.
Is it different in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a professional boxer, you know, like trained boxer. Me,
Yeah.
I'm good for a little street.
Not a professional, but he's a good amateur, and that's the thing.
He's played a lot in the gym, and I
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
You good?
But anyways, are we getting any questions in?
I'll touch you in a second.
That's fun, man.
We should get my thing set up. But now, here in like maybe 2 minutes, we're gonna start tapping into the styles and maybe taking answers from or questions from the fans on the fight this past week or last weekend. I don't know, wherever the fuck we covered the fight. So.
No questions.
Right?
None.
No comments.
Anybody, no comments on the fight?
Oh, lots of comments on the fight.
What they say?
Let's hear some of the comments.
We got Royce Jones says James is giving them hands out for Christmas. Talking straight to this. Show us some straight right to left hook, please. Alicia says this is awesome. Baha.
He landed one. He landed one salt. Right hand.
Who's up?
Jacob.
I'm not getting my neck ripped off.
going with you. Jake, you want to go on with that guy?
I'm not getting my head ripped off. I want to keep my head.
Now we want to tap into the fight this week, or not
Yes.
this past weekend, the weekend before.
Well, let's talk about. We had a great time in New York City.
Yeah, well, it was nice. I got to talk to a lot of people and go over everything. The fight, again, we talked about that Tuesday. Wasn't expected that way. Let's talk about some of the fights over the weekend too, though.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we didn't have a chance to. Obviously, we're not in the studio right now, so let's talk about.
Saunders and
Yes,
Lemieux.
yeah. Until we'll wait like 3 more minutes and then we'll give gloves up. The Saunders fight, I think that right now he's a good fighter. He is. He's at the spot where he should be. But I think that everybody's putting him up on his pedestal way too quick. I do not think right now that he is better than Triple G. I do not think he's better than Danny Jacobs, and I do not think he's better than Canelo. I think the fight for him, which he has the advantage going into, would be a Charlo's. I would think that would be a good test for him. We'll see how he does in a fight like that. And again, he will have the advantage going into that fight, the size advantage also. But see how he does that. I think that's a perfect matchup for Charlo's and Saunders. I really do. I think everybody's just pushing this kid. I mean, first of all, Lemieux. I don't know how Lemieux is still relevant in the top 10 of middleweight boxing. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say that now, and there's a lot of reasoning behind that.
Well, it's because he sells out Montreal.
He does. Well, the same way that the co-main event, was the kid.
Oh, that dude sucks.
How was it? The Hammer? The Jewish kid? I think we all know why he's on TV right now, but that kid shouldn't have been allowed to be on HBO.
That was the first time I've ever seen him fight.
That was horrible. I seen him fight before that, but he fought a kid where that let him land those big punches. That was showing that it was bad. It was truly bad for boxing, in my opinion. It was not good at all, and I think that hurt more so than anything.
It did, and I didn't understand what he was trying to do defensively.
Yeah, I don't either.
But Lemieux, people are so quick to crown Saunders for a guy that didn't know how to cut off the ring and had no defense.
Exactly. It was just all of it. Lemieux ain't. He should again. There's fights that I'm not going to say because everybody think that I'm trying to just get my name in there. But there's just fights that guys that he lost to that shouldn't have.
That you beat.
Destroyed.
Who did you beat that beat him?
Rubio. Rubio stopped him.
You destroyed Rubio.
Yeah, I don't even know if Rubio landed 6 punches in that fight. But I'm just saying, just from that there until now, with that. So, is there anybody commenting on it or any questions?
Yeah, we got. Do you think he has a shot to outbox GGG? Because Canelo was boxing him.
No.
Saunders is better.
Canelo's a better boxer.
Yeah.
See, Canelo defensively might be equal with him, but as far as defense, like slipping punches, Canelo hits harder.
Yeah. Hey, that's another thing I want to go back on too, real quick, like with the Lomachenko. What I see in boxing all the time, and it'll be the same thing as if these guys fight. When Lomachenko won that fight, before the fight started, it was everybody had that pretty much a close fight, tactical. They were the two, same thing that I said before the fight, that they were the two best naturally gifted fighters in boxing. Everybody couldn't wait. The minute Lomachenko wins, everybody turns around and says, well, Rigondeaux was old, he ain't no good. And there was like, all the credit is gone. And it happens every fucking time in a boxing fight. It's sickening. You know, like Andre Ward beats Kovalev in the rematch. Even though the first fight was fucking good and up in the air, everybody turns around and says, oh, Kovalev sucks. And, you know, I'm tired of it. Like, we pay attention to what people say and what goes on in the boxing groups and all these other things. And you know, I'm just tired of that. You know what I was telling them? Every fight, like this one with Rigondeaux, Lomachenko. As soon as Lomachenko wins, though, Rigondeaux wasn't that good. This, that, blah, blah, blah. And it happens in every big fight, like the Kovalev Ward. The first fight was so close, it was controversial, and then Ward goes in and beats him up in the second one. And then, Kovalev, I told you he wasn't that good. It happens every fight. Like, give the people the credit for the win.
But those are fickle fans.
And that's the same thing that happens now when Canelo goes in. Say Canelo fights Saunders and Canelo beats him up. Then, well, I told you Canelo could box a little bit. I told you Canelo would beat him.
Let me tell you one thing that today, shots were fired between Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis. I was already hearing that Lomachenko's overrated and won't beat Gervonta Davis now. Really, guys?
Well, then here it comes. Lomachenko goes in and does the same thing to Davis that he did to Rigondeaux, and then it's going to be, well, Gervonta wasn't ready yet. They moved him too fast. He wasn't ready. That's going to be the excuse. I swear to God, and that's already what it's going to be called. They should let Gervonta Davis get a couple more fights in there. I call bullshit. Yeah, a little too late in the game, buddy. How old are you now?
No, I'm not talking about like going like growing up, like that. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about like
he wants to learn how to fight.
Oh, okay.
It's for me, you know what I mean? But like, you know, like
I told him that he's too old.
No, he's not saying to compete.
Yeah, I know, but I told him earlier he's too old to compete.
But so that's the old shit. You know, that's going to be interesting, and I hope that fight is made with Lomachenko and Davis. So that way we can see all the excuses after that one, or what people got to say. So, but you know, you want to tap into some of the things now with the fight with the Lomachenko. Yeah. No, I'm good on it, man.
I don't need to make sure.
Yeah, you got it. You want to tap on a Saunders fight too, or?
Did you want to hold the glove on the pass?
Remember these are yours. It's a heavy punching. With the heavier guys, I do them. You want pair of you want pair of gloves just to throw on?
I got some here. I got the Velcro ones here. I just want to retie.
A couple people want to see the straight right to left hook. There's about 5 people that want to see you spar.
They don't want to see that.
Oh, another match against him.
I closed. They called me the Coiton closer.
It's gonna hurt something, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna talk about the Saunders Lemieux fight, and then we're also going to touch on the Lomachenko Rigondeaux fight. We're gonna stay close here, right?
Yeah, Brian, I think it's on this way together. I mean,
Jerry! Don't hit nobody with this. Yeah, I saw this is one. No problem.
Alright. One of the things in the fight that I was concerned about with Lomachenko was, and Rigondeaux, was the fact that when Rigondeaux kept going down. Now, if Rigondeaux, he could have probably came up out of this crouch and landed a big shot, but yeah, so a lot of times Lomachenko would sit here and he'd screw around like this, he would move here, and he would have his hands down and doing this. Now, with the ability and athleticism of Rigondeaux, you get a southpaw though, that's really a big thing. So when he's screwing around like this and has his hands right there with the hand speed, and Rigondeaux would have been probably the only person to be able to do that. But a lot of times he was doing that, or he could even have stepped out, took a step back when he was doing that, and let go on that with enough hand speed. Yes, to hit Lomachenko. Lomachenko moves very quickly and everything, but when he was moving like this, he had his hands out and he was stepping around. So that was all open for him to get caught, and he got away with it in that fight. He had Rigondeaux frustrated a lot, which Rigondeaux probably wasn't even thinking of that, and I don't think Rigondeaux's corner was looking at that. But me, Bruce Champler from Top Rank, and a handful of other people have seen that a lot. But now, with that being said, though, Lomachenko kept Rigondeaux from planting on that back foot constantly, from here, moving real quick, scooting back around real quick, and every time Rigondeaux got ready to throw a punch or set up,
He was set here.
Lomachenko was gone.
He was gone.
Yeah, Lomachenko would move this way, and then he would go back this way, or he would start doing this. He would start pitter-patting. As soon as he started going like this, go down, like in a crouch. Rigondeaux went down like that, and then that's when he started doing all the moves and moving around it. So it never gave him a chance to set up or anything, and he couldn't. And it's like he almost didn't think that he could match Lomachenko's.
Even when he threw the straight right in that position, he threw it. Rigondeaux would slip.
Yeah, and shoot here, but that and then it wasn't much on. You're right, but it wasn't much with that. It was more so every time Lomachenko started moving and started throwing punches, Rigondeaux kind of got in a little stance like this and did this, and kind of hit himself. He was what do you call that? Afraid. He went shell shocked almost, and Lomachenko wasn't throwing anything hard. So
It was a lot like this.
yeah, so it was actually all the foot movement and footwork mainly that Lomachenko did, and he never let Rigondeaux get into position to fire off one of his quick combos or to really set up for anything. I mean, he just kept moving and moving and moving. So I was pretty much it. I mean, is there anything else on that fight? I mean, that was a big thing.
Footwork and weight.
Rigondeaux, he neutralizing Rigondeaux's back foot, his plant foot.
He would crowd his punches. What Rigondeaux tried to throw, Lomachenko would be here. And when he crowd here, Rigondeaux couldn't get off on shots.
Exactly. Yep.
But he would crowd one from here, and when he get off, he just close up.
Yep. So it was really simple, but it was very smart and effective.
And then what? With the jab, This, Lomachenko.
Yeah.
He's throwing, throwing, He never stayed still.
Yep. Which one are we thinking of now? You want to go to the Saunders fight?
We go Saunders.
That's a hard fight, guys, to really break down for you because there wasn't much. Saunders really wasn't there to be hit. He moved. If I was Lemieux, I would have just aimed everything here.
Yep.
Everything, and even when he moved to the side instead of throwing the hooks, or when he moved that way, a lot of times Lemieux threw the overhand right. Everything I would have aimed down low because first you could hit the body. Secondly, Saunders was ducking and moving into everything. Let him move into the punch. You ain't got to throw anything hard. You just throw it out there, let him move into it, and you're not killing yourself, you know. Like if he was moving this way, you could just shot down, you know, boom, boom. Same this way in a southpaw stance.
I keep thinking forget southpaw.
Yeah, you know, if he's moving, shoot it that way, come down. There could have been a lot of things. Use the left hand a lot more on a southpaw, and not so much jab, but hook first. When he was moving that way, but when he was in the middle of the ring, Lemieux should have led with that straight right hand, and I'm going to explain why. When you throw the left first on a southpaw, and he goes like this, or he may pull back, what a lot of southpaws like to do. You know, he'll do this, and now you throw the right hand, it's too far away. But when you lead with the straight right hand on a southpaw, so boom, southpaw may move in actually this way, and now it's closer to the hook hand. He can go to the body, he can go to the head. The right hand, why I like using it more so against the southpaw as my jab, is to get them to kind of move that way. As where if you lead with the left hook, there's nothing wrong with it, but when you lead with the left hook like that, usually a southpaw's main defense is to go backwards. Okay, so he may throw that left hook and he steps back. Okay, no, it'll be my left hook, I guess. Okay, but you know, most of them will step back. They'll pull back. So even when I throw that right hand after, he's already pretty much out of range. Especially a guy like a Saunders, he would already be. You throw that hook, he would already be back moving around the ring.
What Saunders like to do is he'll pull back.
But you know, but now if I use my straight right as my jab, not even throw it hard, just like kind of tap it out. Now I'm here. Boom. Now I'm throwing, and he may actually southpaw sometimes may actually come in on the right hand. They may slip, and then you hook though the range of it. And you could jab though. I would jab a little bit with the southpaw. Now another reason with
Just
that.
put him in position.
Yeah, but not only that. When you're southpaw against an orthodox, here's my left hand. Look how close the face is of a southpaw. They're there. You know, as we're an orthodox, he's gonna be back farther, and I'm going this way more. So the jab does work a little bit, but also again, that would be to set up other punches, mainly the right hand. It's hard for a southpaw to really get away, especially if you use it as your lead right or your jab. So, but Lemieux neglected that pretty much the entire fight. Also, I mean, he was frustrated. So, yeah.
All right, we got going back to. Lamont Simmons says it's a waste of time talking about those fights. Music versus Wilder is the future we're talking about. Lars says, what fights in 2018 are you guys looking
Did
forward
he say
to?
that those fights are a waste of time at Wilder in the future? Ignore that fucking stupid question.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Damon Martinez says, what was the first thing you guys saw Lomo do besides punch that neutralized Ringo?
Walk in the ring.
Yeah.
Walk in the ring.
Yeah, walk in the ring. Or watching Rigondeaux hurt himself on the way to the ring. No, the footwork. Like we said, how he had him out of position and never let him set up.
He kept him crowded. Where Rigondeaux does best mid to long range. He doesn't do well short.
Mac Tyson wants to know, what kind of mitts do you guys recommend?
Honestly, whatever's comfortable for you.
Yeah. I would prefer thick though. Anything, I think 95% of trainers out there all had carpal tunnel surgery.
We all have hurt. But I like winning myself.
Yeah.
But I think Everlast makes a great mitt.
They do. They really do. Hey, look, these ringside thick ones are good. Everlast has the best boxing equipment though.
Winning does, but it's real pricey.
Yeah.
You got to be really involved with the sport to want winning.
Exactly.
Damon wants to know, how do you guys see Mikey versus Lipinets playing?
Oh, I think that's a mid-round stoppage.
I agree. I do.
I see
Not,
that.
not
Fifth
just saying
round.
that. Not just saying that either. So don't.
They just are
I
friends
think
with Mikey.
I think I think that right now everybody should know that we've been pretty fucking good on our picks. So.
We've almost been 100%.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen wants to know if you could show the straight right to left hook against the southpaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left hook to the body or head?
Specify.
We'll do both. You want me to do it?
Southpaw.
You get southpaw. You get southpaw. Or you just want to hold the mitts and we'll just pretend you're southpaw. Straight right, left hook. If you're an orthodox fighter, you're gonna keep your hands a little lower with southpaw, not up here. They read it well. It's here, hand here, right hand. From there, you're gonna rotate. Left hook. See how? Ah, 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 ah. Want to go faster?
Yeah.
And you notice the hands never come down. I throw, they set, bang, bang.
And several people say thank you for answering the questions.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but that with Josh Allen, that lead right hand, that was a good question. Those are good to throw against the southpaw and a jab. Again, I just say when you fight, and it's hard with a lot of these questions to explain it because are you going to lead with a left hook first against the southpaw in a fight, in a 12-round fight or a 10-round or 8-round? Yeah, you are. But I'm just saying, like, what to kind of work on during that fight or keep in when you're facing a southpaw is I would use the right as more of my jab and follow with the left. And I would jab definitely also, but...
And to answer that question about Wilder, we're not saying that Wilder is not going to be great, but he's not the future of the sport right now. I want to see him fight somebody first.
There's no heavyweight, really. I mean, you can't say that with what you got, the talent just in the welterweight division right now.
That question
junior welterweight.
That question sounded so loaded to one-sided. There's nobody else except for Wilder. Everybody we mentioned is better than Wilder.
Yeah. And it brings more to the sport, actually. You know, Triple G, Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia. These guys, the heavyweights right now, it's not really a hot division.
Well, you got
it's
Usyk.
getting there because Wilder's mouth is making it big. But you're talking about him and Anthony Joshua. Me personally, I do think, in my opinion, Wilder is the better heavyweight right now.
I agree.
I think he beats AJ.
But I think there's going to be problems when Usyk turns pro later this year at heavyweight.
I think so.
Moves up to heavyweight. There's going to
Give
be
him
problems.
2 more fights at head. Let him get 2 fights in a
What
heavyweight.
is he, 6'4", 6'3"?
Yeah.
And he walks around about 230? Ah, that guy's good.
Yeah.
Michael, start training. Ask me to help you out. You know you want to train with me.
Might have to do that.
Go outside.
Say about Arnold.
Any more questions? Is that it? Okay. Anything else you want to touch on?
Michael's eyes black now.
That's all right.
But no, basically, I mean, we did what we wanted to do in the show. There's plenty of questions out there. Kelly, you're a good mitt holder. I was surprised. I was like, wow, he held those right.
For standing southpaw.
No, but you know what? Most people, what do you have to do with people who's never held mitts for you?
I hold
Yeah,
mitts all the
I
time
know.
for people.
But you never hold for me. You don't want me doing this.
Yeah. Right, you hold them. You don't pull. A lot of people push.
I always hold
Pull
them chin.
back.
If you hold them for chin high for the guy you're working with, you're never wrong.
I just hold them regular. You start going like this, you're hurting the fighter when you push. Pull back, you're going to end up hurting your shoulder or the fighter extending.
You know, I like to do this.
Hyperextending.
Robert Garcia does this a lot with the mitts. He brings them closer in. And I asked him why he does that. It's because the head's not this wide.
Exactly.
The head's here, so they hold him here. They're here. Bop, bop. And you're aiming right for the head. Bop, bop.
And why you let him do that to you, man? You must have, he owe you some money.
What's that?
Owe you some money?
What's that?
He owe you some money?
He's my brother.
Oh, man, get back in there. He's finished with you, man.
My brother.
Yeah.
He told me the time in the pen was harder than boxing.
Oh, yeah. Nah, just kidding.
Yes, you did. Put it on your mom. Put it on your mom right now. You can say that.
Damon wants to know if you can demonstrate the southpaw pull counter left.
A southpaw pull counter left.
Japanese can come over
Southpaw
and get us,
pull
man.
or
Yeah,
counter
ready.
right. Like a check hook from a southpaw. That'd be a right.
Was he asking how check hook?
Or counter or how? No, Damon's question.
Was he asking? Sorry about that. Somebody else was going to owed me money. Michael owed me money.
Damon said demonstrate southpaw pull counter left.
The pullback and the counter. Watch.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be. Why would he count? Oh, like yeah, it would be at what half step.
Half step.
And then he would fire a straight left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it.
Just right here. I mean,
So I'll be honest, I should be in southpaw.
so you're here.
Ah!
Then
And then
you do it again.
with the left.
You do it again.
Ah! Bang!
And usually, that is a big one for a slick southpaw. Ricardo Williams and the amateurs was real big with that.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, a lot of guys are some southpaws got that down to a T. You don't see a lot doing it, and you would think, but but a lot of times it's also dangerous. If you got to be fast enough to do that, because you also as a southpaw against the orthodox fighter, the right hand could come down.
There's a secret to that, guys, too. That when the amateurs they do that a lot. Kelly gets in that southpaw and he's gonna check. He's gonna do that left again. I'm a jab. Kelly's gonna bring that lead foot halfway into mine before he throws it. Yeah, he steps and goes halfway. Step all the way through. Take that big step. He's that big step all the way through. Bang! Now what he's doing is he's turning on me and extending the left, so he's pushing my neck back. He's not catching me on the end of that.
Yes, people loaded some stuff in that. Okay, what Everlast gloves do you recommend?
It depends what you're looking to do.
Yeah, for training,
Training, power lock.
It says, what do you think of Sabas?
Who? Sabas. They're a handmade glove from a guy in California. They're not bad gloves. They're a good entry level type glove, and they're fancy. I hear they kind of feel like rival.
And this one's for Kelly. As a professional fighter, how do you view your opponents, whether after a win or a loss?
I've always viewed them as what I've viewed them before the fight. Dangerous.
With disdain.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Dangerous, good fighters. I've never talked anything bad about.
Have you ever had an opponent that you've hated after, you disliked after?
Yeah, but I didn't take away from his fighting ability.
No. But there's an opponent that you went into the fight not liking and left not liking.
Yeah.
Is it because the press conference and things they disrespectful things?
No, because a lot of them. Miranda, I have no problems with S. Miranda. He talked a lot of shit before the fight.
He's selling the fight for you.
There's just a couple, like they went on saying that they won the fight. It was absolutely.
Who was it?
Your boy.
Our boy Ross Thompson said that he beat Kelly every round.
Yeah.
And Ross was a good guy, but Ross was just wrong.
He still believes that he threw a total of 18 punches.
He said he beat Fernando. Fernando knocked him out in the 4th round.
Yeah.
That's just Ross, Ross is a good guy. He's a competitor, and that's what he believes. Have you ever admitted that you just got your ass beat? Fighters don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not making no excuse like the Hopkins fight. People know that's well documented.
Yeah, but there was extenuating circumstances in that fight.
But at the same time, though, and I ain't stupid to. I got my ass. I got hit with everything, and everything happened to me, but me fall down or just stop the fight. It was not even a bit competitive.
Yeah.
From the opening bell.
Lars Anderson says he watched Medina versus Broner again. Do you see Broner ever getting his act together?
You know what?
Love the beatdown he got.
Broner, I don't know. Go ahead, Kelly. You can answer that first.
Broner, I don't know. I don't want to say. I'm not going to be mean now. I said he might be a gatekeeper.
Broner likes you. He really does.
Yeah, but it is what it is, though. The way it's going, the big fights, he hasn't been winning. And then, of course, getting dominated by Mikey Garcia with a dominant performance.
That's not anything to be ashamed of, though.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, what's next for Adrian Broner? And if he does get another shot, who's it going to be against him? What if that happens again? So when do you say enough's enough?
My thing is this. Broner has all the tools to be a great fighter. He really does. It's what goes on outside of the ropes that causes his problems. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He gets involved in a bunch of things he shouldn't be getting involved with. Gunfights, assaults, strip clubs. Those things that don't seem like a big deal become a big deal.
Damon wants to know, if you're facing a Russian amateur boxer, what's the first thing you need to know to watch for?
Straight right.
That your best bet is to be in shape.
In shape, because they will walk you down.
Yeah,
we can show them. I can be a Russian.
Yeah.
I fought 4 Russians in my amateur career, and what they do is they used to fight with their hands high. They come in and they're in great shape, so they'll come in
and they're stiff and they're
stiff.
Why?
And they don't move their head much. It's here. It's all here. It's all here. And what they'll do is they don't want to jab you in the chin. They want to work here and the chest. They want to keep working in the arms. They want to keep putting the arms, and they want to break you down. And by the time that second round comes, there's nothing left. And then they do this. Kasha Zhu is big on this. Bang, bang, bang. All just basic 1, 2, 3.
Where they fired at the chest.
He would hit you in the chest with a hook. They come to you, bang, bang, step.
Who adopts better to the pros, Cuban amateurs or Russian amateurs?
Russians, by far.
Russians.
Russians, they see what they do is Russians use their basic punches. Cubans have their own system, and their system is a lot like this.
That's what goes back into that now. They're in amateurs too long, and even some Russians could actually. It's hard for them, but I think the Russian amateurs
Russians cut off about
are
120.
more trained to eventually turn pro, so more than the Cubans.
And the Russians cut off their amateur career about 100 fights. They don't do 300-400.
Yeah, 300 to 400.
Did you know? I heard Brandon Rios said he had over 400 amateur fights. That was crazy. I heard him say it. 400 amateur fights, Brandon Rios, and that explains a lot.
Yes. That's why that's America.
But that's what makes him so crafty. And then that fight's coming up with Danny Garcia and Brandon.
Yeah,
I said, do not sleep on Brandon Rios.
Yeah. A lot of people are writing him up.
He can hurt you.
And you know what? And he's a veteran.
A 45
from
vet.
Fights. I mean, you got to see. I mean, look at the people that he's sparred all them years being in Oxnard. The knowledge he has in that ring. I mean, it's going to be hard to.
He's put over 1,000 rounds in with Mikey.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he's going to beat Danny Garcia. That
No,
man's
no,
not going to
no.
out of mouth.
But we're saying is don't sleep.
Yeah, he'll be every trick in the bag that he has.
And if Danny lets Brandon on the inside, it's over. And I don't know if Danny Garcia is that good to ward that kind of pressure off.
Yeah. You don't know. I mean, if Rios comes in rejuvenated and fresh too, it could be a long night.
It could be. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not saying Brandon's going to win. I'm just saying it's going to be a tough fight. That Danny's going to know he was fighting.
It's a lot tougher than people think.
Daniel Poro asks, he says, do you think it would be different if you fought at 160 with Hopkins? If so, how?
No, not at all.
Hopkins would have been a lot younger. You would have been a baby.
Yeah, it would have been.
You would have been 9.
Would have been no different in that fight. It wasn't the weight jump that made a difference in that fight. I mean, Hopkins was a good amount bigger. He was fighting at that weight for a while.
What did he come down from? 215?
Yeah, 215.
He came down from 215 when he fought you, and you came from what, 173?
Yeah.
People don't realize how big Hopkins really is, how wide he is until you stand next to
I
him.
didn't have to lose that much at all for that fight.
He's taller than you.
Same
Is he?
Same exact
He
height.
looks wider, doesn't he? Then, I'm not talking about
He
now.
might have been. Well, he should have been. He was 2 weight classes higher.
What do Cubans do stance and feet wise that makes them so different?
What's that?
What do Cubans do stance and feet wise?
They don't stay still. A Cuban, what they do a lot,
they're
Cubans
always
don't
moving
fight
that
standing
foot.
still. They're always
Yeah.
moving, always moving, always moving.
And they're coming forward too, though, but they're different angles.
And their heads are doing this.
Yeah,
Their heads
that's-
are always doing this.
But that's why you never really see a Cuban fighter, even a real slick, good boxer, you never really see them retreating
No.
or moving away, backing up.
What a Cuban will do is you come out and throw them shots, just throw your shots, whatever, just go 1-2s and everything. He's coming as ropes and he's moving. Look, he's moving. And while he's doing it, he's firing at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's right back on you.
And you know what? In the pros that don't work, but in the amateurs it's scoring.
Yeah.
And then Tommy Cox wants to know, guys, who's your pound for pound #1 right now?
Oh shit! I almost got Jermaine tailored over this.
I gotta say, I'm going with Lomachenko again.
I'm going with Terrence Crawford, #1.
And I came up with another reason why I can't have Crawford #1.
Okay.
And why I'm having a hard time at 2. And
Okay.
I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter.
I know.
As I said last night, he's getting ready to move into the welterweight division.
Yeah.
And I don't think he beats Spence. Now I understand Spence may be on his way out of the welterweight,
Yeah.
but he didn't make that call yet. And
But-
there's no proof of it, so
Why
Yeah,
should that
I
be
don't-
held against him though if he hasn't fought yet?
he can't, because he's not going to beat. He can't. If he can't beat Spence in the same, and he's in that same weight class, how do you put him #1?
How do you? But Lomachenko hasn't got him to fight Mikey, so just because we think Mikey might beat him, we should
What
throw him at
do
#1.
you getting a performance against a top guy like Rigondeaux?
But after Rigondeaux, name anybody else that was a top guy. Nobody.
But Crawford has not beat
Crawford's
Rigondeaux.
fought 16 B and A's, and
He
Lomachenko
has
fought
not-
1 A
He has
plus.
not beat a Rigondeaux yet.
Well, that's not his fault. That's the weight class he's in.
Well, it's not Lomachenko's fault that there ain't many other people.
I just,
other than Rigondeaux.
I got Crawford. I went through his past 10
No,
fights, and all those guys are
Hey, look,
undefeated.
James, I'm not saying you're wrong. This is an opinionated
I know.
argument. And a lot of people agree with you on Crawford and who he fought, his resume, and everything else. A lot
I
more
know.
so than people agree with me.
I would agree with you, but we'd both be wrong.
But again, now where I'm going from, but you got a guy in the same weight class that we both agree could beat Spence. So how do you still keep Spence?
Because they haven't fought yet. I don't want to make that decision until they fight, and then I'll say
Spence beat a very good Kell Brook, who jumped 2 weight classes to fight a very strong, hard, heavy-handed guy like Triple G, and gave him a little bit of fit there and dealt with him, and then came back down 2 weight classes.
Styles make fights though. Styles.
How I understand that.
Crawford would beat Spence. Crawford would beat Kell Brook. Kell Brook looks like fucking Terminator right now. You don't have a real eye in his head.
Yeah, I know. He ain't got no eye socket. All of his eye sockets are worse for wear.
But no.
But I'm just saying. I mean, so that's something to think about, though. Like,
I agree. But I wouldn't move him out of his spot until he beats Spence.
If Spence was a super middleweight, then I would say, you know what? They're not in the same. They're never going to fight. So let's go off of who they fought on their records. But due to the fact that they're both in the same, it's just weird to have one number 1, but also in his own weight. But he's not the best in his weight class.
Let me ask you this: who wins between Canelo and Spence?
Canelo.
At 54?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's gonna be a tough one, man. I don't even have a pick on that.
Canelo.
But it's possible. And then who wins between Gervonta and Lomachenko?
Well, Lomachenko probably stops him in the 6th or 7th again.
I think a lot earlier, but no, that fight's already being hauled to be made. There's so many good fights out there, you know.
There is.
And Mikey and Lipinets don't go past the 5th round. I think Mikey just.
The only thing I wish for Mikey is that he was just a little more active, like he would have fought last month. You know what I mean?
We knew. Now we know the reason why he wasn't so active.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, and I 100% believe that. Again, not being biased, but
yeah.
You know, you go back and you really play that fight out compared to how Mikey really fights. You can see, you know, it was kind of like, wow, I did all this. Let me just get out of this, and move on to the next one. But
great. I mean, any questions, Justin?
Moved on me. Hold on 1 second.
Besides some asshole commenting on my weight,
what do you think of Horn versus Mundine? Their talks.
Who?
Is it Mundine? Mundine? I don't know who that is.
Horn
versus Mundine.
Crawford. They're trying to hype that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a typo or something. I don't know what Mundine means. It's Mundine.
Oh, Mundine? I thought he was a heavier weight, Mundine.
I thought so too.
Anthony Mundine, right?
He was a super middleweight.
Yeah. He was a junior middleweight. Yeah, middleweight, yeah. I don't know.
Someone says, I saw a comment earlier that said Crawford will beat Spence. Do you see that? If so, how does he do it?
I don't know. I can't say. Kelly thinks so.
That Crawford beats Spence?
Spence.
No, I think
Spence beats Crawford.
Yeah, Spence beats Crawford.
Andy Adame wants to know, does Garcia have a chance against Lomo?
Garcia? He's a bigger man, but Lomachenko's made it clear he's not moving up 2 weight classes to fight.
Yeah, and you know, if that fight did happen, no, that was a good point somebody brought up. It would be Barrera Nassim. And I can see that because of a technical style too. Like, don't get it wrong. A very good technical style. As you've seen when Barrera fought Hamed, that what a good technical style could do against somebody. But we're also talking about 2 totally different type of fighters in Hamed and Lomachenko.
Yeah.
But I think because Mikey is a sound fighter and again naturally a bigger fighter,
he never gets out of pocket.
You can't. It's not out of the question to say that he couldn't win, but I don't think he would get stopped in that fight.
No.
If anything, I think he would lose a unanimous decision. But
I just think that Mikey has a great chance of beating him, just on
his natural size,
the strength.
Yeah, strength, and that he's not going to be able to do a lot of things against Mikey that he does against other guys. Even somebody as talented as Rigondeaux, because Mikey is too smart and will know what to do and how to counter that.
The thing is, too, Mikey's not quitting on a stool. It's not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. That's you can kick that one out the window.
I'd bet paychecks on
that's what people got to really look into in that. You know, we know because we've been around Mikey and we know how the training camps go.
We know personally. We've been in camp.
Yeah, firsthand. And believe me, going into a fight like that, Mikey's probably one of the smartest fighters, and he would have that all broken down and ways to answer that. And Mikey's got the skills to be able to do it too. Don't you guys count him out? Best footwork probably in boxing, and Mikey's fast as shit. Okay, so don't count him out. I mean, it's
Dude,
not a.
he sparred with Floyd, and Floyd said he was the best sparring he's ever had. He worked with Valero. He worked with Matuse. He worked with Sergio Martinez. He worked with Brandon. He worked with Maidana. He worked with everybody you could work with.
Seen every style.
And he was fighting Valero at 14. Who does that?
Just somebody get to another question when he's done with Pornhub.
I like porn tube better.
Porn
I haven't been on that one
Red
yet.
tube.
I'll try it.
Kelly, do you think Billy Joe Saunders can be a legitimate threat to Triple G?
Absolutely not. Not right now. Okay, I shouldn't say that. We have not seen anything from Saunders, and don't say he beat Lemieux. I swear to God, I'm going to run to the wall, my head first, if you guys say that. I don't think so right now. There's nothing, you know.
Dude, I've seen paint dry faster than Lemieux.
You should have stopped Lemieux. To be honest with you, if you're going to be that type of guy, and you're going to be that guy in the middleweight division, you stop a guy like Lemieux. Like a Rubio, like a Triple G, like people do against a guy like Lemieux. If you're going to go from this level to that level, if you're going to make that jump.
Damon's asking about Crawford versus Horn, which is what you said.
Yeah. Oh, Crawford's gonna beat up Horn pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing special out of Horn. My only thing on this is it goes the distance. Can Crawford win a decision in Australia?
Oh, I think he beats him so bad you have to,
Dude.
or it's going to just destroy boxing.
I think Pacquiao won that fight, and he just.
I know. I agree with you, but
I mean, Horn's a tough guy, and
Yeah,
he's
but I think
decent, but he's not that kind of level of fighter.
Crawford beats a Horn a lot worse than Pacquiao did.
You know what? Thinking back to the fights, you know who I was really impressed with? I know people are gonna think Shakur and all that. No, Michael Conlon. Conlon, that kid is so smooth. I mean, even Justin was saying how smooth his transitions were in the ring.
Yeah, he made. You know, I wasn't a fan of him turning southpaw that long the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
And usually, I'm not a big fan of that. Usually, when people switch to southpaw, there's two things: their game plan ain't working, or they're tired. But he adapted really quick, and he made a very experienced move from a kid who's not really experienced yet, and he pulled it off really good, and that was smart. That was a smart transition he made.
So Virgil Ortiz, his dad just messaged me the other day. He said he sent us some new shirts.
Okay.
We got a new set of shirts from Virgil.
Ask kid to keep an eye on.
Virgil Ortiz is a world champion coming, and I like him.
And you got Garcia.
I like. Is it
Ryan.
Ryan Garcia? I like.
Yeah.
Josh Turner wants to know if there's any guys to look out for coming out of Southside Boxing in Youngstown.
Absolutely not.
No. You know what? You got Papo right now.
Papo just fought in Vegas. And
Yeah. He's making noise in a what weight class? Junior lightweight.
Junior lightweight. Yeah.
And
What is he? 9-0?
Yeah, or 9-1.
9-1. Yeah.
And he's making noise. They're looking right now for promoters. They're hoping they hope that last fight that was on TV got him a promoter, but
The problem is he's not in a big area like it used to, and
Yeah.
a lot of the big promoters are out of this area, so it's going to be harder.
yeah, it is. But
He's going to have to impress
you
people.
got him, and then the amateurs. A lot of people here. I mean, anybody's just throwing amateur boxing shows together. So it's like there's a lot of fights, and the kids are getting experience, but you know, give it time though. Every city goes through that. They have their dry.
Look what Ohio was in the
Yeah, the
70s,
droughts.
80s, and 90s, right? And then now that, but
Yeah.
I think these young kids coming in the sport are looking really good
Exactly.
nowadays.
You had droughts. Well, like the '90s, you had your drought in Youngstown.
Look at Brian Wong keeps up on that from Youngstown boxing.
Yeah, he does a
keeps
very
up on
good
that
job.
for us. Brian Wong, guys, is probably the best Youngstown boxing historian around there.
Yeah.
He keeps up on everything for
I
us.
tell you, to be honest with you, that's one of the sites out of all the road that I check up on the most usually is Youngstown boxing. But yeah, you got to give it time in the Youngstown area. It's again, it's a drought, but you will have this area to put out. Just not only in boxing but football. Youngstown ranks #1 in per capita for
NFL players.
So just a lot of talent here.
Who do you guys have in Barrera versus Bivol?
With who?
Guerrero versus Bivol.
Oh, Bivol easily.
Oh, how about that? Rumors maybe, right?
Yeah. We're hearing after this fight, Bivol and Kovalev.
Looking at me like that.
That's going to be a good one. You know what?
I got Bivol.
Everybody counts out Kovalev.
No, I got Bivol. I mean, he hits just as hard.
I agree. I'm not talking. That's the fight. I'm going to go.
You got to remember, Bivol beat him in the amateurs.
Yeah, that's amateurs.
I know,
Caleb beat
but
me
when
in
you
the
knocked the
amateurs.
motherfucker out in the amateurs, did he knock you out in the amateurs?
No.
Okay.
But it will be interesting. That's a fight where I don't care if I'm wrong or not in that one.
No, I don't think that fight's gonna make it the distance though. Either way, I think somebody's
I
gonna go.
don't think.
But the things that Bivol does, like
One thing where even though Kovalev has changed, you know what they say, and he looked. I'm so glad he came back. Everybody was talking shit. I understand, but he went in there for his fight back, and he did what he was supposed to do against a guy like that. He looked sharp.
He looked good.
So if he goes in, the only thing is, I just worry when he goes past 6 rounds. Or 5 or 6 rounds.
He might have
Because when he goes past 5 or 6 rounds, I think he gets tough.
that relapse.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, not even though. I'm just saying.
No,
Some
he
guys just can't go. I mean, you know, so
Ross Thompson.
yeah, he gets past 5 or 6. You know, Beal should win.
Yeah.
By stoppage probably.
Maurice Jones wants to know, do you guys know who Nathaniel Gallimore is, and what are your assessments on him?
I don't know who he is. Do you?
There's your answer, Royce.
Absolutely not. What time is it?
It is 5:52.
We got about 8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes, guys.
8 minutes. Get your questions, guys, and
Do it.
A gentleman named C-Bone Henderson wants to know if he can get an interview for his new website, 3kingsboxing.com. Says he loves your guys' show.
of course, yeah. Have him send a message to Amy Green, and Amy will schedule him.
If he's listening now, she can tap in the chat box.
Schedule Amy Green. Amy Green does all the scheduling because if we do it, we'll mess up the schedule.
So Bobby Mills wants to know, Kelly, what's harder, being the world champ or training to become the world champ?
Fuck, that's a good question.
That's a hell of a question. My homie, Bobby. Wow.
Fuck.
Being a world champ, you got a target on your back, and you want to keep that. You want to keep that name as champ, and it's hard. Training to become a world champ, you got to fight through a lot of shit, though. You literally got to fight. Sometimes it seems like you're never going to get there, and that's hard too. That might be one of the best questions asked.
Probably in a long time. I've never thought of that question to ask, but it's true.
Yeah.
The pressure, I'm sure the mental pressure of being the champ is hard.
Oh, it is, and everything that comes with it.
Dude, and then you have how many people coming at you every day for some kind of opportunity, or
Your life changes literally.
you had to hire. I'm sure you had to hire somebody just to take care of all that.
Yeah. Yeah, it changes. And you really get to see the true asshole people and how you become champ, but how you're supposed to change everything you do.
Or when you quit being a champ, let's see where everybody's at.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you had that issue?
Oh, yeah. You gotta change. Instead of everybody else fucking having to change it to make themselves better, you gotta change everything to you know what I mean?
Hey, I wanted to bring something up too. Some of our friends on Facebook and things like that, they like to put like joke pictures of like Oscar on there and what a fucking pantyhose and all this. I told them guys, I said, quit fucking around. I said, you don't know how much power Oscar has. Your ass will get blackballed in a second. Those little fucking, what are they? Those little piece of shit Hall of Fame dinners you go to will dry up next year. I said, you don't know how petty the boxing world is. And you call somebody out and make fun of them like that?
Exactly.
That's your. You won't get it. You won't even get invited to a club
Again,
show.
of all people, somebody like that's gonna call out fucking De La Hoya.
A female.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
No, I mean, the guy fought everybody. And what? You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I think. If I had those type of women in my room, and a pound of Peruvian marching powder, I would be in frickin' pantyhose too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Who's not gonna?
You know how many guys probably looking at worse than that?
They've done worse.
Probably, yeah. You know, you got a guy he was probably leaving there, walking to his private jet. He was probably going to Hawaii for like 3 days to continue.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, with a Brazilian model.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple
yeah,
Brazilian
that
models.
Brazilian model, exactly.
And she says, "Here, put these on."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Really? I'm gonna get laid on? You want me to put on? And you want me to
Oh,
wear
he
gloves?"
knew he was getting laid. He knew that. Like I said, they probably did a little world tour for a week.
Yeah. But, you know, for them to come down on a guy who's fought everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. And, you know, anybody who says that he didn't fight anybody, or in their prime, they can't even say he didn't fight anybody in his
Guy
prime.
made over $300 million.
And turned his company into $1 billion company.
Exactly.
And to make jokes about the guy, I was like, you know what?
They do that, man. They do
As a
it.
person, I've never been an Oscar fan. I mean, but as a fighter, yeah. That guy's legit.
Some people talk shit about the wrong people.
I've seen people talk shit about some of the nicest fighters in the world.
Oh.
I've seen people talk about Mikey. I've seen people talk about you.
You make it. When you make it, everything you got to change everything. It's
Well, I've seen people talk
instead
about
of
you.
being the other way. Usually, like when you make it, like you did it, and you do pretty much what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah. Well, dude, like I
And
said.
but you know that's the way. It shouldn't be that way. I'm just saying. But you got to change though everything. And these people over here who are doing the same shit every day, just maintaining and living the same old fucking routine. They're allowed to do everything and everything, but like we said before, but because HBO is Showtime, don't show up to their work site, and because TMZ don't give a fuck about what they do for a living, and they're not getting paid from HBO, ESPN, TMZ, and they're allowed to get away with it. They can sit back and talk shit and run people down and say all this shit about them.
Oh, my favorite is you get these fans on these pages, cherry picking, overrated, casual, all this.
That was a great clip that football guy.
Did you see I posted that? I said that's how we feel about boxing.
Exactly. I mean, he embarrassed that guy there on ESPN. You're gonna sit there and watch these guys play football every day, and you're spending your time watching them, okay? And they're making millions, and they're top guys, and you're gonna run them down. Now, having an opinion is one thing. Having an opinion, especially as a sports anchor or analysis, a reporter. That's your job, is to have an opinion. But when you start putting them down,
when you start calling them scared, cherry picking, and then you call real people that are in the business casuals, and or that whole
clowning people on Sunday,
or that whole basic, basic bitch, you don't know shit about boxing thing that they say. When people say that, I shut them off. Like I even listen to Roger Mayweather, who don't even have half of his senses.
And that's the difference there. Again, these guys, that's their jobs to talk about the sports and give you stats and everything.
And that's
else.
fine, but be a stat man.
Yeah, but don't start getting into their personal and calling them and saying stuff. We're telling them they don't know what they're talking about, and it's
or Mikey's scared of them. These guys are professional athletes. They're not scared of anybody. That's not how this works. It's not a schoolyard. It's not 6th grade. They're not scared.
Again, they're sitting home shining their belts.
He's sitting there.
Guys are shining their microphones in their keyboard pad.
He's looking at his next rare Viper to buy. Right, literally.
Hey, what's wrong with shining a keyboard?
No, man, you get paid good on that though.
But you don't sit there and call fighters this or that.
This is true. I got respect. Kelly, who had the best body shot you ever faced?
James Dominguez.
That's a good one.
Espino have a good one?
No.
No. What about Sartucci?
Sartucci? Pros, to be honest, I can't even tell you. I mean, if I was like really hit with a body shot that really hurt me.
Bronco McCart had good body work, didn't he?
He did, but nothing that wasn't that I was hesitant about.
Miranda?
No. No, I protected that motherfucker. I had everything around that.
You had your
you know what? Actually, to be quite honest with you, and it was one fight, and it was the Hopkins fight. Hopkins actually caught me. It was nothing that was like real bad, but it took a little air out, and I would have to say that's the only one that I can remember and think of.
My favorite thing is this. That was funny. I was just thinking of that.
We got Josh Turner wants to know for new professional boxers that are coming up and getting their first big paydays. What do you advise about them investing their money, or what do you think they should invest their money in?
I think this is a very, very important part, is they have to have somebody trustworthy, a financial advisor, okay?
An attorney.
Yeah, an attorney, and somebody to audit their financial advisor. You know what?
Right.
Some financial advisors get mad about that, but listen, it's your money, and when the money's gone, ain't nobody gonna, the financial guy ain't gonna give you it back. Nobody's gonna give it back to you. You know what I mean? I was fortunate with my people. I was blessed, and I had people close to me that was with me. And
your dad was amazing.
Exactly, and you know, so that it's been fortunate, and I've pissed my guys off at points, and but not. I knew that line. Yeah, I think a lot of these guys just get in and they spend, and you know, a lot of them are young and they think they're invincible, and that they're going to be world champions, and that they're going to keep making this money for 10 years. And when this window in boxing is only that big, and it closes quick, and there's no more income coming in.
I think about it. It's not. You got to learn to live below your means. You know, you don't need to have a Maybach, or you don't need to have. You know, it doesn't hurt to own a Prius.
Uncle Sam is the biggest one. You know, he takes a good amount of that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to own a Prius or a Mercedes, a 300 class Mercedes, instead of buying a Lambo. You know, you could go out and buy a Lambo if you wanted, Kelly. But why?
What am I gonna get out of it?
I know what you get out of it.
I don't even drive fast though, man. I was supposed to fast cars. Even when I was young, I never got into.
What was your first big purchase when you made your first big money?
40-foot RV.
I love that RV.
My first big one was everything in one door. It all came in a package. 2 dirt bikes, joiner, like a side-by-side 4-seater.
Yeah.
A 4-wheeler, a 40-foot RV. I went rednecking it there. The city boy, this city slicker here went country for a minute, and I still got all that too. I still got the 4-wheeler.
What fight was that?
Man, that was after the Miranda.
Okay.
And then after the Taylor, between Miranda and Taylor. But it was nothing. That was like. It was a good amount of money, but it was nothing that damaged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you dropped a mill on all that.
Huh?
It's not like you dropped a mill on that.
No.
Just about 70.
I got the RV for a fucking deal. I ain't gonna lie, I'll tell you right now, I paid $75 for a 40-footer. That thing, low miles, that thing was a $480,000 vehicle, maybe more. You know, and come on, little mini dirt bikes. You know, they were $2,500 a pop.
2 goats.
I got 2 goats, and I willed a deal for the goats. I willed a deal for the goats, and I got 2.
You're from Youngstown, man.
Because listen, real quick, everybody, I'll tell you the story.
We're buying emus too next.
So I seen a commercial, and this is like on James' Facebook. I go, dude, I will buy these animals. We wanted to get a fainting goat. Fainting goats, you scare them, they fall over. And so we found one in Pittsburgh, and we drove all the way to Pittsburgh, and here they didn't have the fainting goats. This big hill jack came out. He had one arm. It was almost like the movie, like Hills Have Eyes, Wrong Turn. And he talked. He looked crazy. And I was like, well, dude, we came all the way out here. We drove an hour to come get these goats, and now you're going to tell us you don't have them? So I was like, I'm not leaving her without any goats. So he gave me 2 regular goats, billy goats, and I named one Escape, and I named the other one Billy. Scapegoat and Billy Goat. And then with that, I got those off like really cheap, and then they gave me 2 free cocks with it. Chickens.
I know.
So, and the funny thing is, the chickens got loose, and like 3 days later, they come walking past my pond. It was funny as shit. I almost fell out of my chair.
Chickens.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But,
Any other questions?
Good right now.
All right.
well, guys, we want to wrap up the show today.
And we're going to the holidays.
Yes, we're going to take off the holidays.
Be back January 2nd.
Yeah, January. I think that'd be nice. January 2nd, we'll be back, and we are going to take this little break. It's well needed. I got a lot going on.
The gym.
Yeah, the gym. I'm going to get a gym going there. Not a boxing gym yet. That's coming soon. And but hopefully there'll be some things that go on. Hopefully we'll find out some new stories and have things to bring to you guys and to talk about.
We'll tell them who some of the guests we're having this year coming up.
Go ahead.
Well, we're bringing Mikey back
Mikey Garcia.
for this fight, Lipinets. We're going to bring Robert Garcia back. We're bringing Rudy Hernandez. Matthew Macklin.
Conlon.
Michael Conlon. Jesse Vargas.
And many more.
And a lot more. But, Lomachenko. We got Lomachenko coming.
Yep.
in January. So that's going to be huge.
And we'll
guys.
probably reach out to a lot of other people now. Again, we're getting pretty established with this, and people know. And I don't think it's impossible to get a guest.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. February, we're not going to be going to the Mikey and Lipinet's fight in San Antonio. We're sending our correspondents, Alicia Taylor and Christine Lopez.
Yeah.
They're going to do that for us. And
So we'll have some good interviews. Pay attention to that. And we're still working on some other ideas. How's that been going, Justin?
how's our new ideas with the other people?
Oh yeah, it's good. I got to work out a couple more details with them. But
No?
maybe like second show in the new year.
Okay. And we got some new stuff.
They
going
want to
on.
do a dry run together, like
Yeah.
just, kind of like a practice.
That'd be good.
But all right, guys. So that is it. Have a happy, merry Christmas and Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and everything else on top.
Happy New Year.
And a happy New Year.
God willing, we'll be back,
Feliz
right?
Navidad. Bon Natal. That was the last one was Italian.
Yeah, but I knew that. But God willing, we'll be back.
It's always Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
I'm a fan.
Merry fucking Christmas, guys.
What do atheists have for Christmas?
Hey, they still celebrate Christmas, but it's their holiday.
Yeah. They're just selfish.
I'm pissed.
They just
about
want
it.
gifts.
All right. Well, enjoy. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you.